So let me guess. You read the title and thought one of two things. One, you're just like, oh, I knew it. Josh has an alcohol problem. Or two, you were like, what? Josh and alcohol? Never. Never. That wouldn't happen. Well, one of you is right. And it would be person number two who thinks I have never had a problem with alcohol. But now you're probably confused about my video's title, about this video's title. Let me get into it. So basically, I was at a restaurant called Legends, right? And they had a poster there for this new beer that came out called Heineken Zero. Basically, the premise of this new beer was that it tastes just like a Heineken, but with 0.0% alcohol. Now, a couple months went by after I saw that poster. I had kind of forgotten about it. Then, I think my college-age brother reminded me of it. I was like, oh yeah, I should buy some of that. A couple more months went by, I think, or something. I don't know. Then I was a cashier at the time. I scanned some beer by accident because I was kind of not thinking, but I'm too young to sell beer, right? So I scanned some beer, and it gives me this whole like thing on the screen where it's just like, oh, please get someone who's 19 or older to do this, like, you know, SOP. So I'm like, 19 to 6, please, 19 to 6, or whatever register I was on. And then I like kind of take a second look at that beer. I was like, hey, that's that Heineken Zero stuff. A little bit later, like, I got to work like real early. Like 10 minutes early, I want to say. Then I was talking to my manager. I was like, hey, do we sell that like Heineken 0.0 stuff? And she's like, oh, I think so. And then we kind of looked, and I didn't find it. I was like, maybe I was wrong. I was probably just imagining things, because that's what, my mind just kind of wanders at work some days. That's probably what happened. Then, like, a little while later, probably a week later, I mentioned something to someone else who works there, not the manager. And then it's like, hold on, I think we sell that stuff. So we go and find it. Yeah. So we go and find it. I'm like, okay, cool. He was like, so why are you looking for this stuff? I was like, well, it's got like 0.0% alcohol, and it's supposed to taste just like the regular stuff. So I figured I could buy it. He's like, oh yeah, that would make sense. I mean, if it has 0.0 alcohol, it makes sense for you to be able to buy it, even though you're like, all right, thank you, sir. People are so nice in Omaha sometimes. Yeah, so he's like, yeah, it makes sense for you to be able to buy it, even though you're like a child, right? Not 21. I was like, yeah, it's got 0.0% alcohol, right? That's also what my manager said. She's like, yeah, you should be able to buy that even though you're not 21. I'm like, cool. So, you know, a little bit of time went by. I remember specifically that I was getting chewed out really hard by the person who was at the time my girlfriend. Like, real hard, for having an opinion about something she said. I don't want to get into it, it was stupid. So, on to that story, okay? I'm getting chewed out over text by my, at the time, girlfriend. over something really stupid. It was like, I could really use a beer right now. And I was like, hey, we have that Heineken Zero stuff. And I can buy that since I'm like, you know, not 21, but it's got 0% alcohol, so I can buy it. So I did. I went in my manager's lane, bought some of that stuff. Like, the whole thing came up like, put in the customer's date of birth. We thought it was weird. She's like, I'm just gonna put something in that'll make you 21 or older, legal age. Because this got 0% alcohol, it's stupid. I was like, okay. I didn't think anything of it. I thought it was just because that it was labeled beer in the system. You know? That's all I thought about it. So, you know, drink a fake beer, I guess. Because I was kind of annoyed that I was getting chewed out for nothing other than having an opinion. And, you know, it's like, I would buy them every now and again. I would run out. I wouldn't buy any more for a few weeks. Then, you know, I'd buy some. And like, the last time I attempted to buy some, what happened was, like, it was a new person who was like the 19, because I went to someone who wasn't 19 to try to buy it. So like when the whole insert customer's date of birth thing came up, she called someone who was 19 over, obviously, because SOP, that's what you do. And then this new girl who came over to get the beer, she was like, can I see your ID? I was like, it has 0% alcohol. She's like, it doesn't matter, it's got enough. I was like, what are you doing? I was like, I bought it here before. And she's like, it's kind of illegal. She's like, I mean, if you bought it here before, I'll do. I was like, no, I don't want to cause any fuss if there's actually something wrong. She's like, yeah, it's got like 0.05% alcohol. 0.05% alcohol in each. May have. Well, she said that it has 0.05% alcohol in each bottle. And I was like, okay. I don't see why that. Okay. I put it back. Long story short, on that transaction, I didn't want to lose my job or something. Like, I didn't want anything stupid to happen. So I was like, I bought it before, but whatever. It was like candy cigarettes for me. I mostly did it because it was funny. It tasted kind of good, though. I like the flavor. I'm getting into beer for the flavor. Look at this dude over the line. Look at this dude over the line. Look at all these dudes over the line. Where was I? Okay, so I put it back, and then I googled what she told me, basically what the girl, the 19 or older girl, told me. And what I find out is the Heineken Zeros may have up to 0.05% alcohol. May have up to 0.05% alcohol. Then I look up the minimum amount of alcohol you can have in a beverage before you legally have to be 21 to be able to purchase it. You know how much it is? 0.05%. Now, this is all kind of stupid and kind of makes sense that it's technically illegal because it may have up to 0.05% alcohol. But that doesn't necessarily mean it does. But that's why it's illegal, is because it may have up to 0.05% alcohol. So technically, I'm kind of a felon. I shouldn't be admitting this on camera, but since I was told by people who should have known that it was okay, I'm going to say it anyway. And that probably wouldn't hold up in court, but whatever. No one's going to watch this video except my best friend anyway. Shout out to you. My parents probably will, to make sure I'm not saying anything naughty. Actually, they 100% will. Yeah, so I researched everything. I was like, oh dang, I kind of broke the law by accident. I accidentally, illegally purchased alcohol. Thus you have the title of the video. I bought a 6-pack of this stuff like at least 5 times too. 2 of them from the manager who told me that it was legal. 2 of them from the girl who called over 19, and at least 1 of them from a different supervisor. Yeah, dude, you were there first. Yeah, then that happened. I'm like, oh no. Then I told my brother about it. He's like, dude, you're a felon. I was like, I know. Yeah. And then like the new manager, like, this started under the old manager and it ended under the new manager, and the new manager found out and she kept giving me a hard time for like trying to purchase alcohol, but I'm just like, but I didn't. I didn't know. And it technically only may have enough alcohol, so cut me some slack. I was just like, I better not ruffle any feathers with anyone who like knows about this, because they could potentially get me fired. But yeah, that's the time I accidentally illegally bought alcohol. Thanks, guys. Oh, I just want to say, like, this is kind of how I want this channel to go. Just kind of like random stories like this about things that happened to me and like my thoughts. But honestly, if I'm being 100% honest, this is probably going to turn into what I think about politics channel. Because, you know, we got the election coming up this year, November. I'm not going to say who I would vote for because I can't, but I think most of the people who are watching this already know me well enough, and like which hat I have that may or may not be red and have white letters on it, to know who I would vote for if I was old enough. But yeah, seriously, watch this turn into a political channel. 100%. Like, it's going to be a mix of politics and random story times like this. So bye.